Welcome, y'all. This week, we journey deeper into the Underland, the hidden realms within and beneath us. Where last week we explored what must be buried, today we discover what treasures await in the dark. The wisdom that reveals itself only when we soften our breath, our bones, and our beliefs. Welcome. You are listening to Our Mindful Nature, a podcast helping healers and those searching for healing respond to anxiety, overwhelm, or depression with nature-inspired meditations for better mental health. I'm your host and meditation teacher, Meryl Arnett. This podcast is recorded from my live Monday night meditation class. If you would like to access today's meditation practice or nature soundscape as a standalone audio file for your daily use, please subscribe to my newsletter at merylarnett.com. All right, y'all, grab a cup of tea, pop in your headphones, and find a comfy seat. Welcome back, friends. Today, we are continuing on our journey through the literal and metaphorical Underland. Last week, we started this exploration of the Underland as a place to dispose of what is harmful, be it waste, trauma, poisons, or secrets. But the deep, dark underground, the subconscious, is not just a place to house trauma and hurt. This is also a place of great self-discovery, a place that can yield a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, of treasure. And the reason we do the tough work of exploring these shadowed, sometimes scary landscapes is because we know there is great value here. In Alice in Wonderland, for example, Alice goes down that rabbit hole and a whole series of chaotic, unknown events unfold for her, ultimately leading to profound self-discovery. This is exactly what we are doing as we explore our Underland. Sometimes our work with the underground asks us to linger at the edge and lament, maybe, the harm. But we don't stay in grief forever. As we continue to visit and explore this underground terrain, little bits of value arise as insight or mineral or metaphor. And this is just as much our work as the lingering is, to soften enough to yield what is valuable. You know, the inspiration for this series, as I've mentioned, came from Robert Macfarlane's book, Underland. And in it, he writes of many of his explorations of caves across the planet. Now, as someone who is wildly claustrophobic, I often found myself tensing and holding my breath as he described some of these underground journeys. And this is what we do when we're scared, right? We tense. We hold tightly to both breath and bone. The problem with this is that it often causes us to get stuck. In the narrowest of passages, Macfarlane describes the fluidity needed to gently wiggle through, the softening of breath and bone. And it is always at the end of this tight, scary tunnel that he would then drop into the most expansive, most magical sounding of caverns. Caverns that house starless rivers and paintings hundreds of thousands of years old. Handprints, footprints held in deep time of those who walked this path before us. And it is here that insight occurs, that transcendent, timeless knowing arises. So we must soften. We must invite fluidity of breath and bone and belief. You know, the reason I decided to take some of the ideas from this book and turn it into a meditation series, not the first time I've done that, by the way, is because I found that this metaphor, this unfolding, came so naturally in my own personal practice. The way I was doing some of the deeper, shadowy work in my meditation, and the way I was mining little bits of insight, little bits of value that were meaningful on my own path. And my hope as we journey together is that you too have these tools for the moments in your meditation practice when you find yourself in an underland. It's easy for us to talk about meditation as the light, right? As something beautiful, peaceful, uplifting, feels good. And sometimes it is. I wish it always was. But sometimes our meditation practice is not light, right? Sometimes when we close our eyes, it is dark. Sometimes stuff that we try very hard not to think about all day, every day, is the loudest, most insistent part of our practice. And in these moments, when it's safe, when you feel physically and emotionally supported and resourced to do so, there is an invitation for us to explore this shadowed terrain, this underland. And what I want all of us to take away from this series is that we don't explore it to be masochistic, right? We don't explore it to hurt ourselves, to muck stuff up just because. We explore it both as a way of moving through, letting go of things that we might be holding on to that we no longer need, and also so that we make sure we don't miss the value, the insight that is waiting for us. And so I want us to settle into our practice now. We're back in the Amazon rainforest. And I want us to pay gentle attention to the tension, the resistance, or the fighting that might arise with whatever your experience is. And instead, let's invite ourselves to soften. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat. You might decide you would like to lie down on the earth. You could sit in a chair or lie on your bed. Try to get as comfortable as possible. Supporting your body with any props, getting a blanket, maybe closing your eyes if that feels good. And as you allow yourself to settle into the most comfortable seat you can find, let's start with a deep breath in. And exhale out an audible sigh. And we'll just do this again, inhaling deeply. Exhaling out a sigh. And then allowing your breath just to flow. And beginning your practice as we always do, by silently saying to yourself, "Now is my time to meditate." Now is my time to meditate. And as you say those words to yourself, take a moment to let go of everything that you have already done today. And equally, Let's let go of all the things that need to be done later. And instead, invite yourself to be here as fully as possible. Taking a moment to let go of any of the obvious tension in the body. All those subtle ways that we are prepared to run, to jump, to shift. And instead, see if you can let go of your thighs and your belly, of your chest, your shoulders, your jaw. Softening all the edges of the body. And then simply allowing yourself to breathe. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to force anything. We'll simply breathe in. And breathe out. And rather than fighting with this moment or forcing this moment to be whatever you think it should be, let's practice softening. Imagining with this next breath that your skin could soften a bit. So that it's not quite so rigidly holding your shape. And your breath flows. And underneath your skin is a layer of fascia, also tasked with holding your shape, holding your form. And what if you just imagined that layer right under the skin softening a bit? So that there's no rigidity, there's no sharpness. And as our breath flows, our awareness drops deeper to the layer of muscle, the part of us that is active, that pushes and prompts and pulls. Maybe you can feel or sense or imagine muscle relaxing its grip. Becoming more fluid, more flexible. Beneath our muscle lies bone. Can you imagine a softening of even bone? Maybe you feel as if you are melting into the field of awareness or experience around you. Softening the grip of the organs, the heart, the belly. Softening the breath in the body. And softening the thoughts in the mind. Let's sit here a few minutes in silence together. Soften, surrender. Allowing the underground to yield what is valuable. here, perhaps deep in the Underland. Letting yourself be curious of any insights, awarenesses that have risen to the surface. And very gradually, turn your awareness towards your breath and start to deepen that breath. Feeling a little more fully the inhale and the exhale. Sensing it move once again through belly and heart. Feeling your bones reforming, stacking. Muscle wrapping around bone. Maybe your spine straightening a bit or your shoulders roll back and down. Fascia forms and skin shapes. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and your toes. You find those edges again. And as we prepare to emerge from this Underland inner experience, let's take a deep breath in together. And open your mouth, release a sigh. And taking all the time you need to let go of your practice and to blink your eyes open once again. Thank you, guys. As we close today's practice, let's remember 3 key insights from our journey underground. First, the Underland isn't only a place to store what is painful. It's also a realm of deep wisdom and hidden treasures. Second, true movement through the dark requires softness. Tension keeps us stuck, while breath and surrender create space. And third, every descent offers the possibility of expansion. When we meet what's shadowed with curiosity or gentleness, we uncover the timeless knowing that lives beneath and within it all. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to tune in next Thursday for the final episode in the Underland series, as we explore the third facet of this underground terrain, storing what is precious. I'll see you then. Thanks for listening to Our Mindful Nature. If you would like to receive today's meditation practice and nature soundscape as standalone audio files for your daily practice, please subscribe to my newsletter at merylarnett.com. It's free, and you'll receive a new practice each week. Our Mindful Nature is recorded on Muskogee land and is produced with the support of Nick McMahon and Brianna Nielsen. Deep gratitude is offered to acoustic ecologists Nick McMahon and Gordon Hempton for the use of their nature field recordings in many of these episodes. We release a mini episode that's just the meditation, no chatter beforehand, every Monday. And every Thursday, we release a full episode with a meditation class or interview. I look forward to practicing with you again soon.